Hello everyone, I'm Ernie and I am so glad you're here with us today. Today we are going to upgrade our Poor Man's Sluice box. Actually, I should call it a Poor Man's Sluice bucket because the last one didn't work too good with the materials that we brought back from Gold Canyon. And so today's version, and this upgraded version, is made for the materials that I can bring home, or I could do it over at Gold Canyon. But if I bring it home, I can make it work here. And so I'm going to show you step by step on how to make this Poor Man's Sluice bucket, and let's get to it. Okay, the materials I'm going to use are 2 5-gallon buckets. I'm going to use a piece of 2-inch PVC pipe, and I will measure it with my Milwaukee tape measure. I will cut it with my Warrior angle grinder with a cutoff blade on it, and I will use some construction adhesive to adhere the PVC pipe to one of the 5-gallon buckets. And here we have our piece. I'm going to straighten it out just a tad, and it'll just take 1 minute to do this. Alright, what I did right here, I put some notches in here because what I'm going to do, I'm going to put some construction adhesive around here, and as I press it against the bottom of the 5-gallon bucket, the glue will settle inside these grooves, and I'm hoping that it will hold this piece of PVC pipe onto the bottom of the bucket. I have my 5-gallon bucket. I was going to sand it, but as I was inspecting this 5-gallon bucket, it's pretty scruffed up on the bottom from previous usage. I did use this for the Poor Man's Sluice, and so since it's scruffed up, I believe that the construction adhesive will stick or adhere onto this bucket very well. So let's get to using this construction adhesive. Alright, what I'm going to do, as you can see, I am going to use the construction adhesive, and I'm going to glue it to the bottom of this 5-gallon bucket. On this bucket, what I'm going to do, I'm going to drill a bunch of 5/32 holes in here, and this bucket will act as a classifier. It'll hold all the bigger pieces, but anything smaller than a 5/32 will fall through or filter through the holes that will be on the bottom of this bucket. The reason why I have it at that size, I think the 5/32 hole will be perfect when I bring some material back from Gold Canyon and Gold Creek, and this is the purpose of this bucket right here. So let's get to it. Alright, we have our adhesive here. I am going to puncture the seal so the adhesive will come out. Drop my rag so I can clean everything. right, we got our adhesive on here. And let's get it down into the bucket. I'll do my best to get it centered. I'm going to apply some pressure on it so that it will begin to stick. And it looks pretty centered. And so we're going to leave it at that. And let's get started on the holes. Once again, I am using a 5/32 drill bit, and I'm going to do my best to fill this up with holes. All right, here we have it. We have the bottom of our poor man's sluice box that has 5/32 holes on them. I don't know how many holes I drilled, but this is what it looks from the bottom. And from the inside, it looks just like this. And so I'm going to get my orbital sander and sand it down, and hopefully I can clean the holes out a little bit. And we'll wait for this adhesive to dry inside here, and then we'll be able to test it out. All right, so there we have our poor man's sluice bucket upgraded version, and I'm going to get to the creek, or I like to call it the creek, or Gold Canyon, to get some material, and we will do that tomorrow after I finish my workday. And during that time, our white bucket on the poor man's sluice bucket, the adhesive, it should be dried, it should be ready to go. And so, but I did want to say that I did not use the orbital sander to sand down the bottom of the sluice boxes, because the sander is over at my son's house and I was just too tired to go over there and find it. So I just took a piece of sandpaper and I hand sanded it down good enough. I think it'll work just fine, and over the time of usage it'll smooth out and it'll work really good. So I can't wait to give it a try. I'm glad you're here, and so let's get to it. I just wanted to say once again, I really apologize for the traffic. As you can see, Highway 50 is just like right where my work area is. But I wanted to show you that behind those hills is Gold Canyon. And so it only takes about 5 minutes for me to get there. And we'll get there tomorrow. It's such a beautiful evening today. I'm glad you're with us. All right, I finished my work day and I finally made it down to Gold Canyon and Gold Creek to get some material for our poor man's sluice bucket. And so I'm gonna show you, I think it's about 50 pounds of material that we got today. It's a beautiful day here in Gold Canyon. The sun is starting to set. And we have, I believe, between 45 and 60 pounds of material. We're going to bring it back to our work area and run it through our upgraded poor man's sluice bucket. We are back in our work area, and what we're going to do right now in our 3 red buckets of material, I am going to add some water in it, stir it up just to pre-wash it, but I'm not going to allow any of the material to flow out. Right now what I want to do is just loosen everything up, because there's a lot of rocks in there in the material with clay, and I want to get that clay broken up and just some of the muddy water out of the material. And then what we will do, we will grab our white bucket that has our 2-inch PVC pipe with some adhesive sticking to the bottom, and then we will take our classified bucket and stick it in together with this and the white bucket, so when we put the material in here and stir it up with the drill with the concrete mixer on it, it should turn everything around, churn it, get all the material out, and hopefully all the small gold will go through the classifier, and then I will check and see if there's any gold that's left inside here. I will clean it out. I will classify it and see how effective our upgraded sluice bucket will work. So let's get to it. You can see the material that was left in the 5-gallon sluice bucket. And here you can see the material that was classified through the classifier bucket. All right, here is our material, and this is what we had classified out from our poor man sluice bucket, and we will be running that through our little sluice box and into this gold pan. The gold pan catches the material that comes out of the sluice box, and I will pan it out to see if we're losing any material that's going through the sluice box. In this other container, this 5-gallon bucket, this is all the material that was washed, and it was 50 pounds. So in these two 5-gallon buckets is 50 pounds of our material. And so with this, what I am going to do, I am going to classify it through this classifier into this gold pan and pan it out to see if we missed any gold from our poor man sluice bucket. So we'll see how this process works. Here is the gold that we got out of our new and improved, updated Poor Man's Sluice bucket. It worked out very well. I was happy with how it worked. I'm disappointed with the amount of gold that was in there, but it worked out well. It made my job a lot easier on cleaning the material out, and that's what it was all about. Well, this wraps up this episode of our new and improved Poor Man's Sluice bucket, which overall did a really good job. I enjoyed it, but we did have some issues. The number one issue was that the 5-inch long 2-inch PVC pipe adhesive came off from the bottom of the bucket. But I was thinking, I think what I'll do next time, I'll get like a 5 or 6 inch long 3-inch drain pipe and just set it in there, and if I do that, I wouldn't even have to glue it down. I would just have an extra loose part that I just throw down at the bottom of the bucket, and it'll hold the second bucket up, the one that we use as a classifier. So that's what I'm going to do. Overall, it worked out very well. I just wish I could have got more gold out of that, but when I went through the tailings, I did not get one speck. I did not get one of gold in all of the excess rocks and material. So it was a good sign that shows me that we got everything that was in there. And we also picked up, as you could see, a lot of fine, super fine placer gold. So anyhow, you know what to do. Go ahead and make one. If you don't have a sluice box, this thing works fine. Use your gold pan and enjoy your time out. That's what it's all about. And so I appreciate each of you being here. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, share this video on your channel, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and become part of our AU family. We love to have you. And if you have any comments that you would like to share with me, please share it with me, because I'm open to new ideas. And we thank you for being here, and we will see you on the next one.